Yeah. In today's class, we're going to introduce the final project. Okay, so your challenge for the final project is to create a unique and well-designed website from scratch. And you have to showcase the HTML and CSS skills that you learned in this class. So you're allowed to use W3 schools. This is how you're going to look up information on certain HTML tags and whatever else you learned in your class that you don't remember it. And then you can also use any class notes or previous projects that you made. Okay, so how can you be successful? You have to be original and be creative with your website. Don't try to recreate a website that already exists. Try to make your own website from scratch. Um, yeah, plan your site on paper before you start coding, and test as you build your site. Here's certain warnings. You don't want to copy or submit work produced by AI tools. That's not really how you learn. Um, Also, with following online tutorials without actually learning, you have to actually understand what you code because that's how you take away from the final project. And the best final project that we determine will be featured on stembridge.com, which is the official site. So this is going to push you to do your very best. Okay, so if you guys have questions, you can ask me right now, or you can ask in the Discord. So this is the end of the slideshow. I'm just going to show you guys a quick example site and like how you can use some of the tools. Okay, so uh, we recommend that your site has multiple pages because we learned that in the class. So you need to make style.css file and any other pages that you want to add, like um, one, like, so make a site about our class, right? We have the head of document where we're going to link our CSS, and then in the bottom, just say welcome to STEM. Okay, so this font kind of looks weird, so I'm just going to change font for H1. Yeah, and then um, most titles, they're center aligned. They're not to the left like this. So let's just also set the text align to be center. There. Okay. Now I want to list every single day's HTML page. So then they can click on whichever one that they want to go to. So let's just add some links. Actually, first, since we're making lists, um, and it's ordered by day, you have to use an ordered list. And you can use list elements or list items and fill those up with the links that you have. So we have our A tag. We can put in day one and then use the href attribute and put in day1.html. Now we have a list, and if you click on the days, you'll be brought to that HTML page. So let's just do um, day 2 and day 3. And there, so you can see this is purple because I already visited it. What if I want to make it like red? Um, let's just do that. So we have our ordered list. Inside the ordered list, there's list elements, and inside of those, there's A tags. But imagine we have another list on the page. I want to make it so that only the days list has this. So let's just give the ordered list a class of days, and then we can do dot days instead of list name. There now, this selector is really specific. It'll only target these A tags and not anything else on the page. And then we can do colon hover or after colon we can do it's gonna be red and everything's it's gonna be blue. Let's also make the day 1 page. First, we'll make the other pages. So yeah, you can see our site has many pages. I recommend that your site also has many pages, just because it'll show us you guys actually learn and you're comfortable with the language. Okay, so day1.html, it doesn't have any of the CSS, so we have to also link it. Now you can go to day 1. Um, we also need a way to go back to the homepage. So um, where would be a good place to put this? Probably like right after day 1. So make another A tag and then say back home. And then the index HTML is going to be your homepage. That's every site's homepage. There. Um, we can center align this. So A tags, text, line center. Okay, wait, I linked it right. I think this is not here. Since this element is uh here, I'll tell you guys later, but it's something to do with the um how you display this element. It can't be text align centered. So instead, to make it kind of pushed away from this back wall, we can give it some padding. So padding 10 pixels, and then we can also give it some margin. There, now it's not so close to the wall. And then to make this like kind of a button, we can give it a background color. of like yellow. There, now it's kind of a button. If you guys look, all of these also got turned into buttons because they're also A tags. So we want to change this so it's not all A tags, but it's only um these A tags. So let's just give every back to home button a class of there. Now only the back buttons will get this class, so these will remain the same, and then this button will be different. Uh, Usually buttons, whenever you hover over them, they change color. So let's also add there. Now whenever you hover over it, it turns red, and then you click it to go back. Okay. These days kind of look really scrunched up together, so we can give this a margin of like 10 pixels so they're uh let's give it some more. Oh, this is for the A tags. So we want the list item yeah, we want the list item to be pushing. So here actually I actually don't know how to do this. So we can go to W3 schools and then look at their HTML tutorials. You see they have a lot of different tutorials uh on like a lot of HTML tags. So let's just go to the lists where HTML elements, just search. There. We have unordered list, ordered, UL tag. This is a new thing. Description lists. You guys can look on the website, and if you find something that we haven't learned in this class, you could use that. So there's these quizzes too that help you exercise where you're trying to exercise what you learned in the class. Uh, okay, yeah. I don't think this has what we're looking for. So what you guys would do here is you would probably go to the Discord and ask us the question. I'll just let you guys right now that there's a property for this called gap. This is really weird. Never mind, there's no gap. I just choose padding. There. Okay, folks. Okay. So yeah, if you have a question, you can just ask us and I'll look into it on Discord. Okay. They're kind of spread apart. But they look really small on the web page, so let's also increase their font size. Okay. If you want to do it. Uh, oh, this is only the visitor ones. What? There. So since I was trying to put it on the visited elements, only this one got changed. So you have to put it on the elements that or the selector that has all the elements. So let's do days LIA. Okay. Um, Also, this one kind of has a weird font. It's not like the other fonts. So let's just change all the A tags fonts to. Which, these have different fonts, and the back to home has the same font. Okay, so let's add a paragraph here that tells you what we did on day one. So let's go to day one.html and then add a p tag. Uh, I already have text. Okay, there we have some gibberish. You guys have to fill this with actual information, which I will do when I put the example site on the system. Okay, so this paragraph, we could just name this or give this a class uh, because it's the description of what we did on the day. And then we CSS rule, we could say it has a bigger or different fonts in. There. And then you can see it's really close to the back home line. So we can use some margin to push it along. Here now, if we have a lot of text, this text kind of looks like scratched up together. So we can go to W3 schools again and look for HTML paragraphs. Or actually, let's go to CSS. So it tells you about box model, margins, padding, all stuff that we learned. Um, there's also a lot of stuff that we didn't learn. So you guys can look into that. Okay, so CSS text. This is if you want to change uh, kind of what the text looks like. You can see there's a lot of space between characters. Um, and there's also an indentation. That's not normal for just using regular HTML. So you got to learn uh, these properties. So there's color, we learned that. Alignment, there's text align, but there's also a lot of other ones. Stuff like vertical align, I think those are for like other languages that are manipulate. You can experiment with that. Okay, if you look at text align justify, it stretches out each line so that they have an equal width. So let's just try that out. Text align justify. Okay, so you see now the line, it stretches from here all the way to the right side, and there's space that's added in between. I don't really like how that looks, so you could just remove that. But you can experiment. Let's look at spacing because I want to space each line. Okay, it looks like line height is the property that's used to define the space between the lines. So let's try that out. Line height, and then they said you can use zero point 0.8, 1.8. So let's just try those values. Okay, so that's really small. So I guess if we make it bigger, then it should. There, yeah, there's more spacing out. Okay, that's good. Uh, we'll also change this first letter just to make it look like it's from. like a book, where the first letter is like always really, really big. Okay, it's not big enough for me, so I'll just make it bigger. There. And we can also make this italic with the font style. There. So now we have the homepage with the different days, and then we can click on one of the days and go to their page and see the description. And if you visit the link, it turns red. If I visit day two, um, it turns red. Obviously, I haven't finished day two or day three yet, but they are linked. So I have almost four different pages. Yeah, four different pages in total. A separate file for style.css, and it didn't take that long. So I hope you guys probably spend more time on this and make it better, and then you guys can be featured on the site if it's good. Okay, if you guys have any questions, you can just type it in the chat or the Discord. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at some of the sites and then finalizing it. Um, the day schedule. No, you can make your site about anything. I just did this as an example. Yeah, if you're more creative, it's probably better. Uh, you have to get really close by tomorrow, and tomorrow we can just finalize it and then look over the sites. How do you guys turn it in? Yeah, I don't know how you guys turn it in. I'll have to ask the course person. So you guys can just type in probably tomorrow. That's when we're gonna look at the submission. So today you could just work on the site. There's no homework other than the site. So just get really close to finishing the site, and then tomorrow you can finalize it and submit it. However, we plan to do that. Okay. Okay. So you guys can